So welcome everyone to today's From Bloom to Buzz, Protecting Pollinators and Beneficial Insects Amid Climate Change. I'd like to thank Madeline Potter, entomologist with the University of Maryland, for joining us today to give us a short talk and then to walk with us through this beautiful meadow to see what we can discuss. Maddie?
That's good. Thank you, Marlene. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's a beautiful morning. And I have no doubt with the sun that we'll see lots of insect activity still. There's insects out all times a year, but particularly in the fall, we'll see some cool things. I won't make this too long because we've been standing for a little while, but I just wanted to kind of preemptively start us off with especially highlighting differences between butterflies and a type of butterfly called a skipper that we could see today, and then between our dragonflies and our damselflies for some fun. And we'll probably see some milkweed today, I hope so, and so I'm going to highlight a couple of milkweed friends that we could see as well, other than our beloved monarch caterpillars and butterflies. But I always love to highlight this special connection between our native plants and our native insects, right? It all starts with our native plant community. That's needed to support our insect community, to support our native bird community, and so on. It's all connected, right? And there's so many roles that our insects play other than pollination. A lot of people are very familiar with our pollinating insects, but we also have our insects that help with decomposition and returning nutrients back into the soil. So things like my best beetle here that helps to break down wood, fallen wood in our wooded areas, and return organic matter down below. We also have lots of things that are predators or parasitic that help with natural pest control as well. And what we can find is that some of our insects play multiple roles, right? So they can be a pollinator and they could be a predator. So they don't always fall neatly into one category, which is pretty neat. Since we're at a nature preserve today, I like to highlight that this is a really great haven for our wildlife, but we all play a role in terms of having those pit stops between our big green conservation spaces, right? They need food and fuel and habitat as they move between our different more managed areas, no matter where we are throughout the state, and that can be really important because I get some questions about is my tiny pollinator garden really going to make a difference? And it really does in terms of moving among the landscape and reaching other habitats like our nature preserve today. So some other roles I kind of hinted at. They're a really important source of nutrition for other wildlife like our birds. So if we're a bird lover, we have to be an insect lover. It's one of their key sources of food, especially our different caterpillars that we have. We also have insects that live in our water systems that help with nutrient cycling. So there's a lot of aquatic immature insects that help to break down detritus in the water and to keep our waterways clean. Does anyone have a guess of how many oh, I just put it on the screen. We have 10,000 known insect species in Maryland. There's probably much more than that. But that just means there's a lot to discover, and some people wonder that's a lot of insects to have to worry about if we have a managed garden, but only about 1 to 3% of all insect species are known as a pest in some way. So that's a lot of really key beneficial insects that we have supporting our different wildlife. So today we're going to participate in participatory science if we'd like. Simply observing is a really important piece of recording the presence of different species, time of year when we're seeing them, because we're seeing shifts in that, right, with climate change. So this is really vital information that we can help to record. So talking about moths, butterflies, and I'm also going to designate skippers as well. They all belong to this group or order called Lepidoptera with our insects. And we have over 2,800 different species of moths and butterflies in Maryland, which is really neat. Now, one key little hint for distinguishing between moths, butterflies, and skippers is looking at their antenna. Might not always be easy to spot, right, if they're flying around really quickly, but with our butterflies, they will typically have a little knob at the end of their antenna. Now we have something called skippers, which is a type of butterfly, but they're differently related, where they have almost like a little hook at the end. That can help us differentiate. And typically their wings are held kind of straight out from their back instead of flat across as well when they're at rest. So that can give us a little hint. I have one little pin skipper here if you want to take a look at that. And then our moths, they're either straight and thin antenna, straight and thick, or they can be plumose, like a feather type antenna as well. So that's one key way to differentiate them. One skipper that we could see today is called the silver spotted skipper. I have a couple of guides here that we can take along with us too, and if I see this I can point it out. There's other skippers like our Zabalon skipper, which has a little bit more orange and brown coloration to its wings. But we have lots of skippers that we could see here today. Some common butterflies, we could see a common buckeye has really cool false eye patterns in the wings. We could see our pearl crescent. Different swallowtail butterflies as well. Those can be really pretty. I have a couple different species differentiated on this handout here if we want to take this along. And then things like our eastern comma or variegated fritillary. I have one of our fritillaries pinned in the case here today. And a couple other butterflies. Now we'll get to Odonata. So this is dragonflies and damselflies. So if we didn't know how to differentiate them, you're going to learn something new today. This can be quite fun to point out to friends and family. So our damselflies are typically smaller and their eyes are separated. So if we know a classic dragonfly head, it almost looks like a fighter jet helmet in some way where the eyes come together, right? Take over its entire head. Our damselflies, the eyes are separate on either side, and their wings typically held at rest are coming straight out from their body versus our dragonflies holding them out to the side. So these are two different insect groups. So we can kind of look out for those today in terms of differentiating our damselflies from our dragonflies. We could see some dragonflies that have patterns in their wings. They're typically translucent but could have dark patches that can help with identification. The color of their body, of course, there's ones that are blue, green, black, all different types of colors. And then one of our really pretty damselflies has almost a metallic sheen to its body, so we call it our ebony jewel wing, which can be really pretty to spot. Just to go over some couple milkweed bugs, we could see things called aphids. Have we heard of aphids before? Yes, lots of aphids. I love milkweed plants. We could see our classic milkweed bug. That's its common name. So we have a large version and a small version, two different species. Black and orange, good coloration for Halloween coming up. These are really cool. Have we seen these red beetles that have really long antennae before? So those are our longhorn beetles that can be found on our milkweed as well. And then I think this might be our last one. Yeah, we have our swamp milkweed leaf beetle, so a little bit more round with this beetle. Also has black and orange colorations on their wings. Oh, and our tussock moths. Those would be really cool to spot. Milkweed tussock moth caterpillars also on our milkweed. Okay. So I'll leave us off there for today. You're more than welcome to check out all materials. I know that Lynn brought a couple of guidebooks. I brought a moth and a butterfly one as well. I also have one of our little handouts if we want to look through different butterflies. And of course our pinned insects with us today. Yeah, and we can go and walk around. But yeah, feel free to ask questions, point stuff out. Yes, this will be fun to see what we can find. Milkweed bug. Oh yeah, so we have this different nymphal stage. Nice.
You see the smaller one over there?
Yeah. It's a type of moth. It's probably either drying its wings or trying to warm up so it can fly. We found a pearl crescent. Kind of hanging off the little grass blade.
silkworms. A lot of my clients always freak out about these.
Yes.
They're like,
So we saw lots of things in our meadow at the nature preserve today. So just encourage you, no matter where you are, you don't have to be at a nature preserve or a park. This can be in your own neighborhood or backyard. And look at things around you, point out things to people you're with. I think that really sparks curiosity.